Welcome to the People of Dubai podcast with myself, Annie, and our lovely co-host, Holly. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, welcome.
2024, we got this, girls.
This episode, we have our lovely guest, Siobhan Porter, our entrepreneur and online coach who has personally helped me. So thank you, darling.
You are so welcome.
Welcome to the studio. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm excited to, I suppose, because it's a new year, everyone's got kind of New Year's resolutions. We're back from Christmas, everyone wants to get fit.
Absolutely.
Weight. I don't know, their resolutions.
This must be your busiest time of year where, because even myself, I ate so much over the Christmas period. And it's like, okay, now I need to sign up to a gym. I need to do this. I need to get new gym clothes, everything meal plan.
Yeah, it is a super busy time of year. Actually, do you know what? I found even last year in the lead up to January, it gets really busy because everybody's already got that like front of mind. But it's always the way, new year, new me. Everyone thinks this is going to be my year now.
Yeah.
To make a change.
What is your New Year's resolution?
Do you know, this is really controversial, but I actually don't have a New Year's resolution. I never ever make them.
That's good.
And what I do instead is I set goals for the year ahead. So I'll always do like annual goals and then block it out into quarters. But I never do New Year's resolutions.
I told Holly once, it was years ago, it was actually because it's 2 years that we started our podcast. And our first ever one, we spoke about New Year's resolutions. I do monthly resolutions. So I like break it down. Yeah.
But Annie's is like,
go to the shop.
Put the Christmas decorations down. It's a to-do list. It's a to-do list. But it's good because you're never going to break them. There's nothing worse than that, is there?
That's true.
Manageable. I like the way you've got that down. Manageable, monthly.
Like that word.
Yeah,
We're going to manage 2024.
exactly.
Let's have you.
So, Siobhan, for the listeners, what do you do?
So I run Envision Coaching and I also coach myself. So I'm an online coach, personal trainer for anyone who doesn't know what that is. It's online coaching for health and fitness. So I founded Envision Coaching in 2022, moved away from the corporate life, and that's what I do full time now.
Amazing.
What got you that spark?
To move over to health and fitness.
Yeah, to just leave the corporate world and you know, start Envision. How did that come about?
Do you know, when I started getting into health and fitness properly, I had so many people asking me questions about what I was doing, my own journey, how I did it, and asking for advice. And it got to the point where I was like, I should be doing this and getting paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, people are asking my opinion so often. Why am I not making this into a business? And I love it. I'm passionate about it. So that's when it just started I just started thinking maybe I could do this actually for work.
And you were doing it, you started it and you were working your full-time job, were you?
Yeah, so I was working a very, very busy corporate role, FTSE 100 company, relatively cutthroat, I think it would be fair to say. And I just started with getting my PT qualifications, my personal training qualifications. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going to start doing this as a side hustle and making money from it. And then I slowly realized that I couldn't, match the two. Like, it needed to transition online. Otherwise, I was never really going to make enough money from it.
What was the moment where you were like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go online? Was there, was there a moment that just a light bulb moment?
I originally was just like, I just want to do this because I love it. And if I can make some money from it, great. And then I was like, I'd love to match my corporate salary. And then when it started to pick up, I was like, I think I can actually do this, And then it wasn't like right, I'm going to do it spontaneous. I am quite a planner. Like, I like to know that things are secure. So I was like, once I get to that point, that's when I'm going to make the transition. And it was so scary. actually leaving corporate because it's so safe and everyone thinks it's such a good idea, and I had a good job, you know, but I knew it was the right time when I did it.
And your first day where you're not working for a corporate company and you're working for yourself, you're self-employed, and you think, okay, this is my first week. Did it feel weird, like waking up thinking I've got to do 9 to 5 and I actually don't have to do that?
It felt really weird. I remember the week before, I was like, what if I don't get out of bed? What if I don't treat it as I did a corporate job? But of course, nobody starts a business without having like discipline and all the rest of it. So of course I got out of bed in my first week of like working for myself. And I just remember thinking I needed to check in with my boss. And I was like, oh, she hasn't called me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, you are the boss.
You're the boss.
Yeah. You have no one to answer to, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. I mean, in the early days, it wasn't as mentally busy as it is now. So it was kind of like you felt a bit of guilt because you were like, well, I can finish work now, you know, but it was amazing.
I remember when I got my last paycheck when I left the corporate world, and I just went out on the own, and I was like, that's it. Like, you just don't have
Never
that.
getting a pay slip again.
Yeah, you don't know when you're next going to get paid. That's the daunting and risky thing. And you do take that for granted when working for a corporate company, you know, like especially being in Dubai, like healthcare, insurance, all of that. Like, it's kind of, I dread the thought of like getting sick. Like, I was sick like last week and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to pay for this bill. Like, it's little things like that, which it has plus and minuses, doesn't it?
100%, definitely. I think I was thinking about this today. Like, one of the best things about working for yourself is, you know, if you don't want to work tomorrow, you don't have to work tomorrow. Like, you're the owner of your own, you're the captain of your own ship.
Yeah.
And like, when you want to take holiday, you can take holiday.
Yeah.
But realistically, when you actually work for yourself, you kind of don't do those things as much because you're the one that's putting food on the table.
Oh my, everyone said to me when I like went self-employed, they were like, you must love it. You must be like, you can do what you want. And I was like, I don't have the time or the money to do what I want right now. Because you just put it
And
all
every
in your
hour
business.
you feel guilty,
Yeah.
don't you? You think,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
should, why am I doing nothing? I could be putting something
Yeah.
towards something to then earn money with my business.
Absolutely.
How did you get over that? Because that's a really hard thing of like adjusting to, because your business is like thriving now, like you're doing amazing, but I'm sure it's not an easy road.
No, I don't think you ever do get over it because it's kind of like goes full circle back to that like not getting out of bed thing. Because as an entrepreneurial person or a business owner, you will always have in the back of your mind that you're never doing enough. That's your driver. That's what gets you to be a high achiever or to create a lucrative business. So I don't think you ever get over it. You always feel like you could be doing more. You always have in the back of your head, even when you're trying to chill, you're like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to. It's always going to be like that because that's the kind of person you are. That's how your brain works.
Before we started recording, we were talking about having busy minds, and I think we all suffer, all of us three suffer from just not stopping. And I definitely think that's a trait that you have when you want to have your own business and you want to work for yourself. I think that is definitely, I don't know, a trait that comes with it. And you have that guiltiness of stopping. But you were saying, why stop if you enjoy it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm in two minds about it. As I said earlier, if you really, really enjoy your work, then why wouldn't you do it? And I gave the example, we were speaking about this earlier, like when you're sitting watching Netflix or whatever, and in your mind you're thinking about work, and you're almost like enjoying thinking about work because you might be thinking about ideas, and then you get out your phone, and then you start writing notes, and then you get out your laptop, and then you're working, and you're like, I've done it again. Like,
And my husband always says, just sit and watch the TV.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
if you enjoy it, do it. But then you have the issue that you suffer from burnout, because even if you love what you do need downtime.
Yeah.
You need that break. And when your mind is racing at 100 miles per hour, you know, it's a stressful environment for the body. And you do need to take downtime. And I actually need to practice what I preach, because I say to my clients all the time, like, you're working too hard, you need to take breaks, you need time to rest and recover. But there's me.
You do 6 days, or are you
Recently, I've dropped down to 6 days.
drop down?
It's only 7 days in a week.
Yeah. Do you know, I was used to doing 7 days because I was working corporate, and then I was doing the business, and then I left corporate, and I was like, keeping up the grind, you know, like I really, really wanted to get to this position. And then I realised that I was hugely neglecting mainly my partner, friends, family. And I was like, I need a day off with him to actually enjoy our relationship.
And what's the point in working every day and not enjoying life?
So
Life's
true,
there
Annie.
to be lived, isn't it?
So true.
And I think we were talking about setting goals.
Yeah.
You set a goal and you achieve it, and then you think, what's the next goal? And then I always wonder,
do you ever just stop and go,
yeah, I don't think, and I think
That's
it's
it.
scary to think that you're always chasing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when are you going to be not happy, but when will you feel fulfilled?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That always, like,
I've been thinking about that a lot
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, again, entrepreneurial mindset, you're constantly
chasing.
wanting to get to the next goal, whether it's like financial or whether it's like a milestone in your business. You don't even give yourself the time to be like, oh, well done. Like, look, you wanted to achieve that and you're now here. You're just like, great, tick, done.
We try and always kind of reflect in the podcast, and I want to hear about your fitness journey in a second, but we're really good at trying to say, like, look back and see where you've come and what you've achieved.
Yeah.
I mean, you lived in Dubai, what, 11, 12 years ago?
11 years ago now.
11 years.
11
How long
years
were you
ago.
here for?
I was only here a couple of years. I was like 22. I moved here completely on a whim, really. My best friend at the time lived here, and she was like, come to Dubai. Like, it's great. And I was at uni, and I was like, okay, I'm going to finish my degree, and then I'm just going to go to Dubai, even though I'd never been. And I came to Dubai and spent a couple of years here, and it was great.
What's it like being back?
Yeah.
I've been back a few times, and every time I come back, it's so nostalgic. I just remember, I mean, obviously I'm a completely different person to who I was 11 years ago, young age of 22, but I just like go around all the different areas and I'm like, oh, I remember that time, good times.
Or I don't remember that time
Yeah.
coming out of that bar.
Mainly don't remember, or like hazy memories of being 22. But yeah, it's good to be back.
In Dubai, there is a real big fitness and health industry, I'd say, here.
It's boomed over the
Yeah.
past few years. And I was reading that the way people socialise now, like the younger generation, they're so much more into their fitness than we were. It's like changing
It's
everything.
fashionable to be healthy, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a really interesting way of looking at it. Back 11 years ago, that wasn't really a thing. Like, if you went to the gym, it was like, oh, you go to the gym. Like, that's different. I didn't know anybody when I was 22 really that consistently went to the gym, and maybe that was who I was associating with. But yeah, now it's
Whereas now I feel like all the younger generation are into fitness, going to the gym or doing activities. I've got a little sister who's she's nearly 16, and she doesn't really touch a drop of alcohol. She's really into, she'll say that's, you know, got loads of sugar in, and I think, how do you know that? And it's just because they're interested, whereas we're the opposite generation where we're having to teach ourselves habits that we're not used to. And even someone like my mum will say, oh, don't eat that, that's bad for you. But someone like yourself would say there's not really any bad, you know, you don't have bad foods if it's in moderation, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that is amazing that 16-year-olds are consistently, you know, getting in the gym and weight training or whatever it might be. Like, to think that young women are getting strong and in that world already, like, how incredible is it that they're setting themselves up for the longevity of life?
Becoming like a part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because that's the hardest thing I find with fitness, and I want to know more about how you train your clients, because they always say the hardest thing is going to the gym and just getting into that fitness. But once you start and you get that bug, you just become addicted. and you start seeing like transformations, you start seeing results. But my thing is like getting up and doing it.
Yeah, actually making it a routine.
Yeah.
So I think the important thing is like, we're an all-female community. Like, there are a lot of clients on the team, but no program is the same. Something that I am very, very against is like cookie cutter PDF workouts saying, you know, here's your calories, get on with it, or what, some sort of like one size fits all. I am very, very anti, because it doesn't work for everyone. You've got people on the team who are mums, single mums, business owners, working 2 jobs, like shift work. It would be ridiculous to think that one single program would work for each and every one of those women. So we really make sure that everything is tailored and adaptable.
If I'm a client, so I'm, you know, new year, Siobhan, I need to like get my bum in scare and you know, get the Christmas weight off. How what's that onboarding process like with you? Like, where do you start to really understand and tailor that program?
So we have an initial call with everyone, and this call is commitment free. It's to find out really to find out the nitty gritty of what it is you're trying to achieve. It's not just like, what do you want? Weight loss. Okay, cool, here you go. I really want to understand, like, what is it you want? Why is it essential? Why is it so important to you? How is it going to change your life? And what are you really, really struggling with right now? And then we try and understand what key things we can change in order to get you, or said person, from somewhere that they've been struggling with for so long, to slowly but surely being like, oh my goodness, I didn't think this was possible. So we have the call, and then if we're a good fit, then we go through an onboarding process, which is quite detailed. We go through lots of assessment forms, making sure that the program, the nutrition, the whole plan is tailored to them. Then we do the onboarding call, and they go from there. And then there's quite a close working relationship between us as coaches and the client, where we check in each week
to stay motivated and reach those goals. You said an important thing of like key things to change with your transformation, your own personal journey. What's the 3 things that you really changed in your lifestyle?
Do you know, it's so difficult, because if I think about where I was very overweight, like way back when, to now, it was such a journey. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know how to train. I didn't know how to eat in line with what I wanted to achieve. So it took a long time to get to this place. But I think really looking at the key things, it's like understanding what I can eat in order to get to where I want to be, and that is anything. Like, for many years I thought that, you know, you had to starve yourself and you had to barely eat anything and it had to be miserable and painful, and that's just not the case. And
you can't do that, especially living in Dubai.
Absolutely. I'm one of Siobhan's coaches, one of Siobhan's clients. And I've worked with you for, it's just over a year. You've helped me with like weight loss.
You're looking amazing, Annie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, she is.
I think altogether in my weight loss journey, I've done 20 kg roughly. And the one thing that you've always been really good at is you've been through the same journey. You know, you've been there, so you understand things. But I've never had a problem with going in the gym. I love it. It's good for me. I enjoy it. You've always said like, Annie, you know, it's the nutrition. And I'm like, but I go out for dinner and I love seeing friends. And you've taught me to change my mindset, because if you want to lose weight, you know, you can still go for dinner, can't you? And that's what's amazing, because you think, oh, I can't do this anymore. But it's like, you know, every time you go out, you can't just sit there and like neglect what you're eating. You know, as soon as you get in a restaurant, you have to kind of still, you know, think what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge part of what we work on, making sure that you know how to navigate a restaurant menu, a takeaway if that's what you want, meals with friends and family. And it's not like I'm on a diet now and I have to do everything so strictly until I finish the diet and then I go back to what I was doing before. I think that's where a lot of women fall short. So it's trying to work out, how do I navigate all of these things and still reach the end goal without being miserable, still enjoying all the things I love. But you're right, there has to be compromises along the way.
And it's the accountability, you know, having you at the end of every week being like, what would Siobhan say if she saw that I'd done this? And we have like the check-in videos, and it's and you can kind of see all the, I don't know, workouts you've done, steps you've done, the nutrition, and it's just coming to you for advice as well, isn't it? And changing it every week. Like you say, it's not one week and we just do exactly the same, because you could go on holiday, you could not have any social plans on and be like, right, let's absolutely smash this week.
Yeah.
But the one thing Holly's just got is a Fitbit.
Yeah. Do you know what? This has changed my life. As ridiculous as it sounds, I was so anti Fitbits, Apple Watches, technology, anything with technology. I was like, what world do we live in where I need a watch to tell me if I've slept well and how many, and that I've walked? But I've been doing 10,000 steps a day, and I've noticed a difference. The jeans I'm wearing are tight, old-fashioned Levi jeans, and I have not fitted into them for like 8 months.
Go on,
And
girl.
I got into them today. They're tight.
You love steps, don't you? Like, that's one thing that you...
It's such a big difference.
I do.
And you can do it.
Even when before I actually knew what I was talking about, I was like, oh, all these people wearing watches and 10,000 steps, like, what is that going to do? Some steps? Because everyone thinks, uneducated people think, and we don't get educated on this stuff, is like, if I go to the gym, I burn X amount of calories and that's how I'm going to lose weight. But actually, it's so much more than that. And the thing that makes the big difference is actually everything you're doing outside of the gym, more than you can imagine. Not only nutrition, but how much are you moving? That is what really racks up your energy expenditure throughout the day and how many calories you're burning. Hence why people that have physical jobs, labourers, etc., you'll notice that they find it easier to keep weight off. But people that are very sedentary, work office jobs, etc., they struggle and they can eat less.
Yeah. I literally, this thing vibrates on my wrist when I haven't moved. When I'm sitting there doing an admin day, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to move. Like, it's so good. It's very distracting, but it's changed my life. It's a huge investment. I have to ask you, with you living in Dubai 11 years ago, now it's very personal, but did you gain the Dubai stone?
I can't remember how much it was, but I gained a lot of weight in Dubai. Actually had a really bad relationship with food when I was in Dubai, and I was thinking about this coming back, because as I say, like, you start to think about that time of your life, and it wasn't a good time for me. I'd lost all of the weight when I was like 19, 20. Then obviously I had university and moved here, and this was the time where I'd gone full circle, and I was thinking, you know, you could barely eat anything. You had to eat as little as possible to not gain the weight.
Done it before. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And in Dubai,
and you just put it back on faster, and it's not sustainable.
Exactly. And that's the place I was in when I was here, and it spiraled because obviously you have the social events and the brunches, but I still had that mindset. So I was going from don't eat anything, but then when you are out, binge drinking and binge eating, and obviously, of course, over time, body fat accumulates. And I did put on quite a lot of weight while I was here.
What advice would you give? Because there is a lot of women we speak to and we know, and we've all done it. We've all put on that Dubai stone, but you get to that point where I would say 2 years I really put on my Dubai stone, and it's like, what advice would you give to them to be like, make that change, little life changes?
I would say, first of all, don't think you need to go from one extreme to the other. Don't think that you now need to not go to any brunches, not have any fun, not go to restaurants. Don't think you just have to live on salad. Anything that you do and incorporate into your lifestyle now is more than you were doing last week or the week before, so it will make a difference. Don't have such like an all or nothing mindset, and then just start small. Think about what you can do next week that you didn't do last week. Maybe up your steps by 1K a day. Maybe have a couple of meals less out. Maybe start doing your food prep. Just 3 things that seem manageable, rather than trying to train 5 times a week, just eat chicken, rice and broccoli and You don't need to do that.
You get sick of it, don't you? What was your biggest change, like when you worked with Siobhan?
Steps.
Steps.
Absolutely. It was coming out of COVID as well, where you're not in the office, you're at home. I didn't have a dog, so I kind of was walking around thinking, this is so boring. Why do people walk and enjoy this? And then I think you were saying, like, listen to a podcast or do something, or and obviously Dubai's hot, isn't it? It's a warm place, so when you go for a walk, sometimes it's not the most enjoyable thing.
No.
But I was finding I was coming back from my walks and my mind had been cleared. I was ready to work.
I'm finding the same.
Yeah, and it's also a bit of a like a let go, a therapy, just relaxing.
Yeah.
So I think steps definitely. And I was thinking, how do people do 10,000? You think I've gone for a walk and you sit down and then you've only done 3,500, and you're like, great, 6.5 more to go. And it was just doing it steadily and kind of increasing it, but I also found doing that, and I wasn't necessarily changing everything else. I was noticing like a weight loss, and then we obviously were incorporating weightlifting, and I was really enjoying that. I don't know how people go to the gym and just do cardio, because I don't really find that the most enjoyable thing.
No, that used to be me too.
Yeah, so I find doing weights is really, and also it helps you in your day-to-day life. You know, when you're putting a suitcase up in the plane.
Yes.
And I could, you'd struggle doing that. Now I just do it, and it's probably because you've doing weights.
100%.
Yeah,
You got to lift weights to get dates.
Oh, exactly. Well, when someone goes, "Do you want me to help you with that?" And I'm thinking, "No, do you want me to help you?"
I love that. That is literally one of the things that I thrive off, and that's a really interesting point, because it not only helps you with day-to-day life, but the discipline that you learn from reaching your goal with weight loss or building muscle, whatever it is, or just consistently getting in the gym, that actually transpires to everything, like career, business. You learn so much off of incorporating that into your lifestyle. It's definitely helped me.
I think eating clean makes it, it's like clean heart, clean mind. Like when I was sick a week ago and I was ordering takeouts because it was just convenient, I couldn't cook, and I noticed such a big difference in my mindset, like my head, my like skin. Just eating clean just makes such a big difference for me.
That's something I've always
Sleep
suffered
better.
with, is nutrition.
Yeah.
Like, especially being here, where you're going out for meals a lot, and you think you're ordering something really healthy, and then I'll put it into My Fitness Pal and I'll send it to Siobhan and go, "Do you think this looks all right?" And she goes, "Annie, that's a roast. It's got loads of butter, loads of oil. I'm sure you had a red wine with that." And I was like, "God, she knows me."
We're never taught that stuff. You look at this is actually a conversation I'm having a lot, obviously, with people, the clients that are in the UK, because it's roast season. Like, everybody's having a roast every Sunday.
It's getting a bit colder, isn't it? Yeah.
And you think, it's going to be a meat, it's going to be a fibre, like your veggies, and you've got potatoes. How bad can it be? But we're talking like nearly 2,000 calories. It could be above, depending on what you're putting on your plate.
That's so good, though.
Easily. I have cheesy cauliflower. Like, I go all out. Like, I always say, if you're going to roll downhill, like...
If you've got cheese on your veggies, you know that you're packing up some calories in you.
Yeah. You're going to do it properly.
But in the UK, everywhere has calories. When I was home in the summer, I was like, this is amazing, because it makes you choose different choices. Sometimes you think, oh, a salad will be less calories. And then you're sitting there and you can see, I don't know, chicken with chips and salad. It's got less calories than...
I noticed the same. Like, I looked at like a chicken Caesar salad once, and and it had like the same calories as like...
nachos or something.
And I was like, I might as well just have that.
I don't know what they're putting in the chicken Caesar salads, but it seems like every one of those have 1,200 calories. I just
Tastes
think...
so good, though.
Yeah, crazy. What do you think about calories on menus then in the UK?
I really like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And can't you in the UK,
Transparency.
you can ask for it without the calories if you
can now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, which I think is good, because sometimes it's really important to just go for those meals and not think about calories.
Absolutely.
So,
but then there's people that want to know the calories. And in Dubai, I know that there's a lot of restaurants that are slowly starting to do it. And it makes me make different decisions. But then I appreciate if people, might have, I don't know, a problem with food or knowing calories, or like you say, just want to go out and enjoy a meal without knowing, then also I can see the benefit of not having that there. It's nice to have the option.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever had like clients and check-ins where they haven't done what they were meant to do?
Oh, yeah.
And how do you address that? Like, how do you get someone motivated? Are you quite brutal?
I think I'm straight
Honest.
talking.
Yeah.
Not brutal, you're honest.
Honest. Okay.
Oh, I think that's fair to say. I won't be like, oh, this is going really well and everything's fine, because that's
You
not
can't
what people need.
sugarcoat it, can you?
It's not what people need.
Scales never lie.
It's not what people need. I think I am slightly different to everyone I coach, because some people really thrive off straight down the line. This is what you need to do. Whereas other people need a softer approach, and you do need that adaptability to know how to speak to each individual.
Yes.
But I will never lie. I will always tell each individual exactly what they need to know, because that is what they're here for. And if you're just going to tell them, you know, everything's fine, you're doing great, and they're not, that sooner or later they're going to say, you know, I don't think I'm getting the results that I wanted here, you know.
Yeah.
So
What's next for Envision?
what's next? I really, really want to dive deeper into the community in 2024. I want to do more, give back more. I really want to do more with events. For a long time, I've thought in my head, I want to do Envision retreats. And I've had in my head, I just want to...
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
one in Dubai.
Maybe one in Dubai.
Stay tuned, guys.
But yeah, I'd love to do that. We have community events once every quarter, and we do like photo shoots and everything. So I just want to elevate those next year. I want to give back a lot of more education. I really want each individual woman on the team to feel really educated, and we have loads of educational resources, but I just want to give more and more and more, so they feel like they can boss life, you know, they know what they're doing in that health and fitness space. And we're going to expand, I think.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
You're really smashing it, Siobhan. Like, you look
You
at
are.
I look at your page, and before I even was one of your clients, I just wanted to work with you, because I was like, she knows what she's doing. She is making things simple. You know, sometimes you just you see things, don't you? And it's like, eat this and you can lose weight, or you can do, and you've broken it down, made it simple, and like you say, tailored it for a lot of your clients, well, all your clients. And the community piece is incredible. Like, if you want to just tap into the other clients, or, you know, the other women on your program, you can do. It's nice. It's nice to be able to do that.
Thank you very much for your kind words. The community for me is massive, and I know probably any coach will say this, but I genuinely feel like everyone we have on that team is just amazing, so supportive. We have a group chat, and if anybody puts anything in that they're struggling with, like, can't make it, I really don't want to make it to the gym today, girls, and they're just on it, like,
Yeah.
and I love that. I am so about female empowerment, and I think the community that we have is elite. I really, really do. So I just want to feed into that more.
And your community's global.
It is.
Like, you are expanding.
Well, you
Because
have
everything's
clients in
all
Dubai.
online.
Yeah, so we have clients in Dubai, which I'm actually seeing on Sunday, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, dotted all over the place. We've stretched as far as Australia and New Zealand, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What an achievement. I bet you do. Do you ever take a moment and think, 2022, you said you started. That's only 2 years ago. You've achieved a lot.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like we said earlier, where you're always like, do more, do more, do more. But my partner's actually really good at reminding me, you know,
Oh, that's a good partner.
yeah, because I don't. I'm so tough on myself. And I always have been. I'm always thinking, oh, but you could have done more. You could. And he's like, do you remember like 6 months ago when you said that you were going to do this? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Everything's a lesson. That's actually, like, I feel as in, like, you can always say, oh, why didn't I do this? What hindsight, right? But if you learn from it, and that just,
Absolutely.
you grow better, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to make mistakes. It kind of sucks
so
when it
good.
happens.
Yeah.
But if you really worry about making mistakes all the time, you're just going to stay stagnant and not get anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I've really learned is it's better to take imperfect action than no action at all. I think I wasted a long time when I was younger thinking, oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to start a business, or I'd love to get my personal training qualification, but X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it like this person, or I'd never be able to run a business because I can't do this, that and the other. And it's like, if you would have just started earlier and taken imperfect action, it would have been great.
I think naivety as well was really powerful. Like, I think it works in your favour, naivety, because things that you would know now, you might not have done certain things, but you've learned from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
So,
My mum always says, if we all had hindsight, we'll all be millionaires.
absolutely.
And it's so true.
That's very true.
If only. If only.
So you're living in Thailand now. So you've obviously been UK, Dubai, Thailand.
Yeah.
How are you finding Thailand?
Thailand is so chilled out. It's so different to being in Dubai or the UK, which is just so fast paced. So I think it was an adjustment trying to be in that laid back lifestyle, but also going and keeping up momentum with business. But it's just such a lovely place. Like, they're so lovely and friendly in Thailand. It's an incredible place to live.
Are you glad you did it?
Yeah.
What made you go to Thailand? Out of all the places in the world.
So my partner...
It's absolutely beautiful. I've been on holidays. It's stunning. I love it. But it's just what took you there.
It's a random one. Yeah, it is a random one. So my partner actually said to me, I've always wanted to do like a year in Bali and work there. And initially in my head, I was like, just play it cool. Because in my head, I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I've got the business. I'm running the business. I'm busy going all the way to Bali. But I was like, don't say that, because then you'll look like, I don't want to do that, you know?
Yes.
So I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And then I thought about it for ages, and I was like, why wouldn't we do that? Like, there's so many pros to moving.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about it over and over, and it turns out we wanted to have a little bit more of a Bali's quite it's quite touristy now. A lot of digital nomads have moved there, so we wanted it a bit more low key. Spoke about Thailand. We've both been. We both loved it. We both wanted to train there, and training's big there.
Yeah.
So off we went.
Are you doing Thai boxing?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing Muay Thai classes for beginners.
Good for you.
It's hard. Even the beginner classes. I lost a toenail in my second class.
My friend broke a toe.
It's savage. And you know, like,
Why are you doing it?
Yeah, I wanted to challenge myself. There was so many moments in there. I was just like, just hold it together, Siobhan. Like, you're a big girl. You've got this. But it's hard. Like, they don't mess around.
No.
Even in the beginners classes, like, you're sparring. And I remember when we got to that part in the first class, they were like, oh, we're going to spar now. And I was like, spar? I'm going to get hit in the face. No gum shield. And I just said to the girl, I was like, can you just not hit my face?
She was like probably going for the face even more.
Oh, yeah. She was like kicking me and everything. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, got to roll with the punches, literally.
Were you like a lion? Like, you were being poked and then did you just go for it?
No, because I was scared that I would get hit back even harder.
So you lost your toenail.
Yeah, the day I lost my toenail, that was sad. I tried really hard not to cry in class.
Bless you. Well done.
But yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing it. You've got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And like I said for so long that I wanted to do it. So I'm proud
Well
that
done.
I'm learning.
So for the listeners, what top 3 tips would you give when it comes to either fitness, business, motivation? I don't know. What top 3 tips would you give?
Top 3 tips I would give is, first of all, stemming back to imperfect action is better than no action at all. We spend so much time worrying like, oh, I'm not going to be able to fit it in. I'm not going to be able to dedicate enough time to train. But you don't have to do everything. You just have to do something. So just start and see how it goes. The second thing, and this transcends to all walks of life, is don't rely on motivation. I hear it so often, like, I'm just not motivated. And it's like, neither am I, like, every day. You're not going to be motivated every day. Some days you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. But imagine if you, like, relied on being motivated to go to your job every day. You know, you wouldn't be getting paid because you wouldn't be going every day. So you have to, like, keep up that energy to everything. And, you know, it's just a feeling. Motivation comes and goes. Third thing, don't be too hard on yourself, I would say.
You should take that tip.
Yeah, I know I'm terrible at taking my own advice, but I think, you know, when you do start, you're thinking, well, I haven't lost that stone yet that I wanted to lose, you know. And I think probably one of the more important things to say is focus on the input rather than the output. So when I say, like, you start your journey, you're like, I haven't lost that stone, I haven't lost this, the scale hasn't gone down. And it's like, stop focusing on that output so much and focus on the input. Like, are you ticking all the boxes? Have you done everything that you said you'd do this week with nutrition and your steps and getting to the gym? Because if you've ticked all of those things off and you're focusing on the input, the output, that's going to come. Just being a little bit less results driven.
Amazing. And if our listeners are sitting here thinking they want to work with you, I don't know why they wouldn't. Of course they would. How would they get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Siobhan.envision,
We'll
if you can
tag
spell
you.
the name.
We'll
Yeah.
tag you. And one of our questions we ask all of our guests is, what advice would you give your younger self?
It depends what age you go back to, but I think very, very young Siobhan, I would just say it's going to be okay. Like, keep going, it's going to be okay. Yeah, there's definitely times that I look back into, like, young childhood where you're questioning whether you can get to where you need to be. And I would just give myself a nice pat on the back and be like, you're going to get there. You just need to work harder.
Amazing.
And you're getting there, girl. You're doing it.
Yeah, hope so. You've always got to tell yourself that you're not quite there yet to keep yourself going, you know?
Yeah.
No, take a look back and just, take a moment, be proud of yourself. And thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you so much. And for our listeners, you can follow us on
Instagram at @the_podxb. You can also watch us on YouTube at the People of Dubai. And stay tuned for our next episode. Happy New Year. And we will tag Siobhan so you can follow her and her lovely journey and contact her if you want to be a client.
Stay tuned.